Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes the Lord. In this life, with this body, you will not be able to see me. You will not be perceived by those who did not achieve perfection in yoga, who are not liberated from material contamination like lust. But since I showed myself to me, this proves that your practice is good. Narada Muni is not an ordinary soul. He is a manifestation of Madhumanga in the Vraj pastimes with Krishna. But he manifests himself in the material universe to teach us how to become devotees. This is the beauty of the devotees of the Lord. Such devotees who have the Lord manifested in their heart can directly feel the heartbeats of the Lord in their own heart. They can feel all the feelings that the Lord may feel. It is so close that at this level of absorption, there are no explications. There's explications that can be given. It is extremely rare. There's no explanations that can be given at this level. We can understand that Narada Muni was able to experience that. And this experience, it is not a material experience, in the sense that a material experience, there's a beginning and an end, and we can analyze it. The experience of the Lord is so powerful that the devotee is taken in unlimited experience of taste, of fragrance, of different things. That when it stops, there's no possibility of tasting anything else. The experience is unlimited, but the taste that the devotee has, it increases and increases and increases. There's an inconceivable empowerment. The more he tastes the Lord, the more he wants to taste again. And then it stops all of a sudden. And then the Lord tells him, you are not qualified. You will not be able to see me anymore. The conditioned soul cannot understand the devotee's lamentation. In the same way the Lord cries, in the same way the devotee cries. This is why such a devotee, he can say that this world has no flavor. And when he sees a devotee leave and go back to material life, he cries. He says, what is this person doing? Is he chasing after stool? After what is he running? Because there's no substance. We have to understand that a great devotee is very compassionate because the experience he has is very high, very elevated. He wants that everyone has this. He wants everyone to receive this experience. Because when the association with Krishna is very close, the compassion of the devotee is very strong. And he feels obligated, although he has nothing to do with this world, even if this world brings him no happiness, that he can have no friends or enemies. He's just like an extraterrestrial. Is someone that is coming from antimatter, and still is given compassion, because he wants living beings he wants them to leave ignorance. This is why he helps them. And the devotee is even ready to go down again. This is why Krishna allows him to have a contact with the material world. Don't think that the devotee by himself can come down. It's Krishna who allows him to come down in this world and be efficient in this world, to write books, to preach, to explain the science of devotional service, to speak about basic things, to take risks in this world, to be attacked, to be beaten, criticized. And Krishna, naturally, he is extremely satisfied with such devotee. But it is extremely elevated, the feelings of Srimad Bhagavatam. This verse, the one who is able to experience Krishna, if he reads this verse, naturally, it will put him in a very deep ecstasy, because he can understand. He shows us what we can experience when Krishna disappears. But this is why we say that the Bhagavatam is reserved to the Paramahamsas, because unless we were able to really experience Krishna, it is impossible to understand the meanings of these verses, because they are transcendental feelings and they cannot be understood unless we have a transcendental form. But in the same way, at the same time, the thinking of a devotee, the actions of a devotee, his words, they are transporting and they are giving mercy. They are, cherche le mot, they are conveying. They are conveying the mercy. Even though we're not qualified, they're like waves coming out of the heart of the devotee and fusing themselves in the heart of living beings. This is why the feelings of the devotee one day can touch the heart even of a conditioned soul, and then the conditioned soul finds itself feeling attraction and separation from Krishna, even without meeting Krishna. And at this point, the feelings, the devotee's feelings, who enter in the heart of another devotee, then they attract the Lord. And the experience of Krishna becomes more apparent. This is why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his prayers, he says, "O Vaishnav Thakur, I run after you. Give me Krishna. Give me love for Krishna." When we understand this, we obtain everything. But it's extremely rare, because when this feeling enters in us, it means Krishna will follow. It's just a moment before we attain perfection. That means the living being is already on a level of purification and devotion that is inconceivable. Prabhupada often cited this famous verse that explains that the one who has faith in an equal way with Guru and Krishna, all the truth and Vedic conclusions will manifest in his heart. Krishna manifests himself. So it's a level of devotion that is extremely elevated. Sometimes we must stay many lives receiving rays before we can truly attain perfection. Because when we have a heart like stone, it is extremely difficult to be infused by soft, sweet feelings. But at the same time, sweet spiritual feelings are much more powerful than matter. This is why Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains that the Bhakti is independent. It can enter also in a very lusty heart. When they explain very lusty, it's not just lust. It's someone who thinks only about sex, who is just like drooling and just like an animal. So, the process of devotional service is very difficult to understand because it goes beyond reason. As soon as we try to understand it through intelligence, spiritual advancement stops. This is why Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is called Achintya Veda, because there's naturally something that is the same but also different, and all these things are inconceivable. So, the principle of inconceivable has a very important place in our philosophy. We must always approach the Lord by understanding that we will not be able to understand Him fully, and that the only thing we will be able to understand is what He wants to reveal to us. For example, when a devotee, the holy name reveals to him his name, his form, his name, his age, his dress, his parents, his service, his group leader. Then we must understand this is his own knowledge. And this knowledge allows him to see everything. In the same way that a conditioned soul, according to the association that he received with the three modes of nature, he develops a consciousness according to his environment. In the same way, a devotee, in his eternal form, he perceives the superior, the higher realm. But it is his own perception that is colored by his own feeling. Krishna is beyond this. He is perceived by devotees in unlimited ways, in so many ways. And he is also the Supreme Soul, the Creator, the Maintainer. He is everything. This is why he is inconceivable. This is the reason why Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur explains that when we go to another place where beings worship the Lord in a different way, we must be appreciative, because it is the same Lord who manifests Himself differently to different living beings, because their consciousness is different and their need is different. Devotion is simple. Just to be guided. Let ourselves be guided. This is why Bhaktisiddhanta said that we recognize a devotee, of course, by his simplicity, but also that in the fact that he is flexible. It means he adapts himself. He adapts himself all the time.
Un dévot est jamais rigide.
A devotee is never rigid.
Pourquoi?
Why?
C'est la miséricorde.
This is the mercy.
Si un dévot s'adaptait pas,
If a devotee does not adapt himself,
il n'aurait aucun moyen
there will be no way of to attain Krishna. We must understand that Srila Prabhupada was the personification of a devotee because he was able to adapt himself to all situations, to give Krishna in all circumstances, to find the best way so that people can become devotees and attain success. This is why many people did not understand him, because such a level of devotion is really rare in the material world. Akinchana Krishnadas Babaji Maharaj said that there was no greater devotee that walked on this earth than Srila Prabhupada. So we must understand that Prabhupada had a proximity with Krishna that was very strong. He could feel Krishna's heart in his own heart. This is why his devotion was at that level, and that we did not really meet persons who were able to show such mercy. Because the adaptation that he gave is still criticized today. Some people say they criticize him, that people, devotees are not chanting 64 rounds, etc., etc. But it is a wrong comprehension, understanding. In fact, devotees who are not so close to Krishna's heart cannot understand the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. It is not possible. And it's normal. It's rare. It's really rare. When devotees of the Lord come in the material world, they are not ordinary beings. They are Krishna's friends. And Krishna himself, he is lamenting for their association. But how can we understand? There are people that are so elevated that Krishna is waiting with impatience every second for Krishna. It seems like an eternity without his associates. These are not jokes. Because love that Krishna has for his devotees is very powerful, extremely powerful. We all have a different personality, and Krishna loves us in a particular way. It is because we are cut from Krishna that we cannot understand this. The more Krishna will reveal himself, the more we will be captured by the love that he has for us. This is why we are attracted by other things, because we're like animals. The animal, for example, if you make him enter in a temple, if he sees the Lord, he will not see the deities. They don't have importance for them. What is important is the female outside, is to run after the female. But if there are no female in the temple, he will run. He will go to a place where there's no wealth. You understand? But when the proximity, Krishna's proximity comes back again, we feel such love that naturally we become conquered. And because nobody else can give us such love, and also such a quality of love, we will understand that all the love in this world is perverted. This is why we will leave the world, the love in this world. No living being will have a power on us. No other living being. The prison will be finished. Attachment in this world is a prison. When you're attached to a person, you have to go back in this world. And we know it, that it is a prison. The proof is that It's because of these attachments that we leave the Lord. But what is the nature of this attachment? What is the beauty of these attachments? They're full of lust, full of mistakes. It's because we were never able to see someone perfect, that we were never able to feel perfect love, to see perfect beauty. It will not be possible to be attached to people that are so imperfect, but it is a process. Krishna allows us to become God, to have our own kingdom, to have living beings that live in our kingdom. But since we're not perfect, we cannot have perfect beings in the perfect kingdom. So we cheat ourselves. But since we do not have the possibility to know another environment, a perfect environment, we turn around. We move around, just like samsara, it's just like a labyrinth. We are forced to turn around, to move around. We live one life, we leave people to find other people, be attached, and do the same mistake life after life, life after life, life after life. We call that ignorance. But Kashyapa Muni explains to Aditi that the Lord can destroy this illusion, that he is not subjected to this illusion. This is why the attachment to the lotus feet of the Lord is the sole object of love for the devotees. There is no other object. The rest is just a source of suffering and imprisonment. When we understand this, then success is close. Without this, the traps are everywhere. In each place there's a trap. As soon as we will talk bad to you, you will be mad because you will be only interested by yourself. Such a person cannot stay a devotee all his life. It is not possible. One moment that person will fall down. We can stay a devotee if we are focused on the Lord's happiness, and to know what gives pleasure to the Lord. We must naturally take reference from the devotees of the Lord and follow their instructions, because we know by satisfying the Lord's devotees, we satisfy automatically the Lord. What will the Lord's devotees tell us? To chant, to distribute knowledge, to distribute the mercy, to help living beings. And in this way, Father Pierre said same thing. He was a French priest. He said he was helping a lot of poor people. He said, if you want to help a person that is disconnected from society, you ask that person to help another person that is disconnected from society, and then he will connect himself to society. In such a way, if you help living beings to connect themselves to Krishna, you will be reconnected to Krishna. This is why Prabhupada, he put so much emphasis to spread the Lord's glories, to help living beings. Because someone who has no qualification cannot accomplish bhajan, a solitary bhajan, meditate on the Lord's pastimes. But if he helps living beings to find a relationship with Krishna again, then the Lord will come in his heart. And then one day he will be able to meditate on the Lord's pastimes. It's something that is gradual. When Srila Prabhupada came to the United States, he was able to see that they were not able to chant 64 rounds. It's nothing, 64 rounds. He asked 32, they were not able. He said 16 minimum, but he engaged them in service, spreading the glories of the Lord. This was the secret of his preaching. Divine intelligence. he engaged
Et il
devotees.
savait très bien
And he knew
qu'en
really
proportion
fully
qu'il se
that
dévouait
in the proportion they were devoting
à
themselves,
distribuer les gloires du Seigneur
distributing the
suprême,
glories of the Supreme Lord,
ce même Seigneur
the same Lord
réciproquera avec eux.
would reciprocate with them.
Donc,
So
c'est parfait.
it is perfect.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much.